costs, including legal, reputational, and to our health and well-being. So over to you, so we can learn more. Big round of applause for Dr. Rao.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Yantai, for having me here. A simple way to call I'm usually known as Anu. For a more formal introduction, is Dr. Anu or Dr. Rao, but this is a less formal venue, so Anu works well. So I'm gonna, so Slajan, you are going to let me know if 5 minutes before time ends, or how does it usually work?
I don't know. I've never been to timer before.
What is the timer going to tell me?
Okay, for the guest speaker, the timer doesn't normally give you things, but I can let you know when you've got 5 minutes left, if you like.
Okay, that would help. That'd be perfect. Thank you.
No
Okay,
problem.
great. So here we go. So, like I said, thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today because this is a topic that is really dear to my heart. And it's also a topic that, unfortunately, a lot of people are just waking up and learning about. And the reason that this is such an important topic is because cyber is a part of our daily lives in every sphere that we are, whether we're working, it's education or leisure. I want us to start thinking, is there any sphere of activity that you think isn't digital or isn't digitalized? And if you feel that there isn't an aspect that is not digital, I'd like you to type that in the chat for me, please. Anything you feel in your daily life or in general that isn't digitalized. We know that work is. We know with COVID, okay, Slajan, Slajan has pointed out that there are some aspects of, say, sports. Okay, there's esports though. So if we think in general, sports has esports. There's games. If we say cooking, okay, what about recipes that we get on YouTube, for example? We have e-payments, yes. We have finance, we have transactions. You wanna, what happened during COVID? Jeff, how did the paratha get to you? It had to be ordered online through some platform, right? We couldn't go out and get it. So almost every aspect of our lives is digital in some way or the other. So when we think that cybersecurity isn't for me, I'd like us to think otherwise. The mantra should be cybersecurity is for me because I have a phone or a tablet or some sort of device that is connected to the internet. And that's going to be my starting point for today, which is cybersecurity or safety is for everyone. Now, I've got 3 different terms that you saw in the title. There's cybersecurity, there's cyber safety, and there's cyber wellness. And I'm going to get to those 3 terms, and I will like to distinguish what those are because they are different, but they all relate to our experiences on the internet. And if we focus on one without the other, we're missing some very key elements of our lives. Now, why is that? This is because we are living in a digital age that is very insecure. So think about it. We live in Singapore. It's one of the safest places in the world physically. Now, when we think about cyberspace, it's not quite the same. Even in the safest of spaces within nations, within cities, cyberspace is dangerous territory if you don't know what's going on back there. So I like to think of it in terms of the wild, wild west, right? There's some degree of lawlessness. There are rules. There are good guys that are trying to help us, but there's a lot of bad guys and a lot of bad actors. And we need to know more about these bad actors so that we can be safer online because there's only so much that the good guys can do to help us. So this is where it becomes more of a co-shared responsibility. And we can't be ostriches that bury our heads in the sand and think someone will help us. Someone will help us, but not to the extent that we need to help ourselves. Now let's think about what some of these bad guys are. You know, you see in movies or on TV programs that cyber criminals or hackers look like this. We've often seen images of them with a hoodie, you know, in basements. These are young people, they cause disruption. But the truth is, hackers are like you and me. They're people with a different set of skills, and they use those skills in ways that are often harmful to society. So it could be a man, a woman, it could be someone in a far-flung corner of Eastern Europe or Asia. And we can't really distinguish what they look like anymore because they are a part of our culture and they are invisible to a certain extent. So how do they operate? It may surprise you to know that they operate very often in call center-like operations. It's become big business to be a cyber criminal, and with just like you have call centers in different parts of the world, like I know call centers in India, this is how scam centers operate. And so I want us to start thinking about cybersecurity as it's something that's all around us that we have to be mindful of, because we often think it's governments or organizations that need to be mindful of it. But no, we need to as well. Now, why is that? Why is it such a big deal? Why am I telling you that cybercrime is important? Because it costs us a great deal. Let's look at some of the costs. So if we just look at, and these are some estimates, right? Last year alone, it's estimated, cybercrime is estimated to have cost the world $7 trillion US. That's a lot of money. And then we have some figures like the global average cost of a data breach. So that's a lot of money as well, 4.35 million. Now, of course, this most often affects organizations and governments. So why am I talking about this to you? Because cybercrime impacts individuals like you and me, and this happens on a daily basis. So if we're looking at the total number of scam cases in Singapore, by the way, this is the Singapore Police Force report on cybercrime for last year, and you can see that scams are high and scams have been rising year after year. Now, scamsters, they don't often need to look at big organizations. They're looking at scamming individuals. They're looking at which of us is the weakest link. And so whether it's phishing or love scam or identity fraud, it's individuals that are at the receiving end. And that's why it's one of the reasons that we need to be aware of cybercrime as being amidst us. It's not something that's happening out there. It's happening within our society. It's happening within cyberspace, even in such a safe place like Singapore. So that's something to kind of change our mind around how pervasive cybercrime is. Now, I'm going to be talking about some terms. And I know that Slajan knows what cybersecurity is. So Slajan, please don't answer in the chat. But does anyone else know the difference between these terms, cybersecurity, cyber safety, and cyber wellness? Or you can just, I don't know, if you want to unmute yourselves and take a stab at it, that's good too. Does anyone know?
I would guess cyber wellness is to do with not using the internet too much, for instance. Addiction.
Okay, that is one element, yes, one aspect of it. Okay, and we have to get to why. Okay, so thank you, David. So I'm gonna break this down in really simple terms. Cybersecurity is the measures that we take, whether it's through hardware or software or policies, to keep data and devices and our technology safer. So if you're looking at ensuring that, for example, your laptop doesn't get hacked, that's an example of cybersecurity because you're trying to protect your data and your devices. And that's what we often hear about when it comes to training and awareness in organizations. It's cybersecurity because data is really important. And I'll talk about that as well, why it's so important. Then you have the next aspect, which is cyber safety. Now, this moves from taking care of devices and data to taking care of us, the people that use these technologies. We use technology every day, day in, day out, for sometimes for as long as 10 hours a day, which, and like as David has pointed out, is not good for our well-being, but I'll come to that. But cyber safety means understanding the ways in which we use the internet that could be harmful to our health and understanding the online dangers out there. For example, cyberbullying or online harassment. There's many types of sexual harassment that happen online. For example, young people in Singapore are very often at the receiving end of cyberbullying. Now, this doesn't affect our data and devices, but it affects the human beings that use these technologies. And that's why it's really important for us to understand how to stay safe when we are online, because we are online so much that we want to feel physically secure, but also emotionally and mentally safe as well. Because the more you use new technologies, and data shows this to be very true, the more likely you are to be exposed to online harms, right? It's common sense in a way. The more exposure you have, the greater risk that comes with it. And which means, for example, the longer you stay online, you're more likely to have either emotional or mental well-being disorders, or you're more likely to be at the receiving end of cybercrime. And this is why it's important for us to know that the more exposure we have in the online world, which is everything we do online, comes with risk. How much risk are we willing to bear is a question that we must all ask ourselves. The longer we are, there's greater risk. So it doesn't mean that Anu's here trying to scare you. It means that I'm here pointing out that there are dangers, but the good news is we can take simple steps to make our lives online safer. So that's going to be like now the next focus of, okay, yes, online harms. It's scary. Sometimes people don't know the effects enough to be scared. And there are dangerous effects. You can lose your life savings to a scam. A loved one could be at the end of online harassment, which could scar them or cause post-traumatic stress disorder. Your social media account could be hacked into, and your intimate pictures or details could be shared online. These are all issues that that happen online, but have real impacts on our physical world. So the two are connected. So the cyber is always going to be a part of our life. So we have to include the cyber throughout our daily lives, the cyber hygiene, for example. So these are just some examples. These are so many terms. And if you want to talk about any of these terms later, we can. But these are all terms that highlight the dangers that we have online, whether there's identity thefts or scams. There's so many types of scams that are happening. And I don't know if you are aware, last year in Singapore, the type of scams that was number one on the scam list and made the most money was job scams. So the nature of scams are changing. The year before, it was love scams. And what do these prey on? Scammers are preying on our emotions, on our vulnerability. They are able to manipulate us to press the button, to share a file, to download something that's dangerous. And you could have the best technologies and the best cybersecurity tools. But if you aren't aware of what's out there, those tools won't be of any use because you need people to be part of that firewall, right? So one of the things that we can do is to understand that these dangers exist, whether it's, I mentioned cyberbullying, There's something called revenge porn, which is when your images are shared online and they're fabricated and made to look like pornographic images. And that's very distressing for people whose photos are doctored or even whose intimate photos are shared, right? These are all types of things that affect your safety online. So these are just some. This is the tip of the iceberg in terms of what kind of online dangers we are exposed to on a daily basis. This is just an example from Singapore, and it was very popular last year where we had entrepreneurs. So I'm a solopreneur, and I know some of you that I know from, online right now with me are also entrepreneurs. And one of the greatest worries for an entrepreneur should be, how do I keep my online account, my platform, my website, my social media accounts safe? Because as this home-based baker in Singapore found out last year, once he lost access to his Instagram account, he lost his followers, he lost his orders, he lost his reputation, and then he also, of course, then didn't make any money from his business that he had spent so long building up, all because of a scam and a mistake he made when clicking a button. So for all of us, whether we're employees, entrepreneurs, parents, this applies to all of us. So I want you to think, give it a minute, and if you could share it in the chat with me, because I'd really like to know where you are on the spectrum. How much thought have you given to securing, it could be yourself or your family, your organization, against cyber threats or online harms? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I haven't really thought about it and I don't know what to do, to 10 being, I'm super prepared and I've protected myself, my family, and my organization to the best of my ability. So if you could just put that in the chat, please. Okay. Slajan. Okay. Okay. So we're kind of mid-range, mid-low to mid-range. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you're here today because we can get started with a few things. So I'm going to start now moving to tell you some tips that you can apply in your daily lives. And you can use this as a cyber security cheat sheet to begin with. And if you're already doing these steps, that's great. In the Q&A, I can answer more questions about what you could be doing even better. So for the first question is, what are cyber criminals looking for to begin with? In other words, what should you be protecting? Because we can't stay safe if we don't know what to protect. So here we go. What do we keep really safe? Data. Our personal information is currently gold in this digital age, whether it's data related to your finances, your passwords, personal information like your date of birth, your NRIC. These are all really important because cyber criminals can use this information to then conduct any type of cybercrime that they're thinking about. For example, if your passwords aren't well protected, they can hack into your accounts and cause damage that way. They could also hack into your social media account and use that, as we saw in the case of the baker, use that in another way, right? There's just so many things that we need to be wary of. So protect our data. We need to protect our passwords. We need to protect, they're after money. So we, of course, need to ensure that our finance-related information is safe and secure, that we have, for example, two-factor authentication, at least when we're accessing our bank accounts, for example. They're also looking for images because, like I said, your images can be either doctored and sent online and shared amongst groups that you would not want them to be. They could be on pornographic websites. Your images can also be used to create fake social media accounts. So it's important about that we know that where our images are in cyberspace to a certain extent, at least. or that if you have images that you don't want anyone else to see, please make sure they're password protected. Cyber criminals are also looking for emotional vulnerability. So these are very seasoned workers. They will spend weeks and months trying to get to know you better, create a profile of you, and use that to then figure out how to get data, passwords, money, images from you. And so it's really important when we are chatting with people online to be mindful that that person that you think is your new lover or best friend or business partner is someone you have vetted thoroughly before you confide in them and, you know, give them these things that they're looking for. Now, I'm mindful that I do not have much time left. David, do I have the last 5 minutes?
You've got about 10 minutes left because we started 5 minutes late.
Okay, great. So then in terms of cyber hygiene, so we've moved from, so let me just go back here, move from what are criminals looking for. So now I hope you have a better idea of what is valuable to cyber criminals. Then we move to what and how you can protect these valuable items. So the first thing is to understand your attack surface. What does this mean? This means to either write down in a spreadsheet, or if you're, good old notepad, what are the areas by which cyber criminals could potentially target you for your data, passwords, money, right? That list that I gave in the last slide. So how can they access you? It can be through devices. So how safe is your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your phone, your router, your anything that's connected to the internet? So I would say these are called the Internet of Things devices, IoT. Anything. So a lot of people have, do any of you here have IoT devices like a smart fridge, for example? Could someone just type in the chat, what devices of yours at home, on your body, at work are connected to the internet beyond what I just said, beyond tablets, beyond laptop, desktop, mobile phone? What else is a potential vulnerability? Smartwatch, yes, for sure. What else? CCTVs, yep. Anyone who knows anyone that has a pacemaker, for example? Smart clothing, smart fridge, CCTV, or if you have a young child, then that's the baby monitor, pet cam. All these things are connected to the internet, and often we either don't change the default password, or we're using a lot of IoT devices that are can be easily hacked into, because maybe we're either using the same default password it came with, or we aren't changing it to a complex password. So the first thing to do is understand your vulnerability. So in this case, the more devices you have, or the more your chances of being at risk. And complexity is the happy space of a cyber criminal. And why is that? Because the more complexity we have, say, even forget a big organization, even within our families, for example, if each family member has 3 to 4 devices, and within those devices, you have 20 apps, each of those apps is also a potential gateway for cyber criminals if you haven't protected them properly. So I want, if you haven't already, to start thinking, I'd like you to start thinking about your attack surface, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is data security. So what is it that you need to protect So some of the things I mentioned earlier were your personal information, date of birth, because all of these things that are important personal information can have sometimes be used for 2FA verification, for example. So you don't want your full name, for example, or initials, or your pet's name being something that's commonly known, especially if you've used these as passwords elsewhere, right? So make a list of things that we need to protect. What is the kind of personal information that we don't want anyone else getting our hands on? And then as much as possible, we try and keep that safer.
5 minutes left.
8 minutes left. Okay, sure. Thank you. Then we have password protection. So it can be a pain. It can be a real pain to keep changing your passwords, but there are easier ways to do this than manually writing it down. You could use a password manager. There's something called a password vault, because passwords we use, even say for something like grocery shopping, we're doing that, placing an order online, and that's connected to our credit card details, or our profile has our address. So something as seemingly insignificant as, say, a Fair Price account, a Fair Price online account, if not protected well, has personal information. So it's important that we have complex passwords. When we get reminders to update our passwords, we need to do that. And the other thing is social media security. So I'm assuming almost all of us, every one of us here has at least one social media account, or say, if it's not social media, say LinkedIn. There's some accounts that we have where we connect one to many. Again, these are areas that if we don't keep our passwords strong, a lot of information about us can be gleaned from our social media. So again, this is an important thing to protect. So one of the things to go back and do would be to check if you need to change your social media passwords and that they are adequately protected, so that you don't have a fake profile in your name and getting followers in your name, which I know, I remember Eugene, that happened to Eugene once, right? So it can be problematic if you don't keep a lookout for the possibility of impersonation with your photos on it. So that's one thing to be mindful of as well. Now, one of the really important things is to have a cyber-aware culture at home. And if you're thinking about, like me, you're an entrepreneur, or you have a small business, or even for a big organization, you want to have a culture that promotes cybersecurity awareness. Because like I said, if every single person in your family or your home or your work isn't invested in cybersecurity, they are the weak links in this chain. And if you want to keep, say, for example, if you're a parent and you want to keep your child safer, then you need to have those conversations with your family members about the importance of cybersecurity knowledge. For example, if it's your employees, they need to have regular training and awareness about what are the dangers out there, because you want to keep your people. Your people are your biggest assets, whether it's you, your loved ones, or you're at work. The people are the ones that make or break it. And I think it's really important that we begin talking about cyber awareness in terms of culture as well. Okay, so now last few minutes, what can you do to get started? And some of you are already doing this because you're here today, which is and understand and implement cybersecurity basics. So I've given you some real basic things, and we can have a conversation about how to, bump up that game if you've already done that. Protect your assets, hardware, software, and people. Often we forget about the people, and I think people have to be at the front and center of it, because no tool is going to be as sophisticated as the person's knowledge. We live in a smart city, in a smart nation. We need smarter minds and smarter digital skills to be able to keep up with the bad guys. Another thing is, at a regular basis, consult an expert. There's a lot of cybersecurity, cyber safety experts out there, and just talking to someone once in a way would, of course, then bump up your cybersecurity protection. And that includes, and this is especially so for organizations, regular trainings and awareness sessions, because it's really important that everyone in your house, your team, understands what the basics are and what to do. And finally, understand the dangers of new tech trends. Oh my God, new technologies everywhere, right? We're talking about generative AI, ChatGPT. Every day there's something new. What I say, and this is what I've been teaching for the last 10 years, ever since I was at NUS, which is, or even more now, which is that new tech come with new dangers. So before we rush to go and adopt the new shiny next thing, just to sit and think a bit about its implications. What are the potential dangers in our lives? And if you want to be a first and early adopter, that's great. But please just be mindful that there are cybersecurity dangers and there's also ethical concerns of new technologies that aren't tried and tested properly. So that's just something else to be mindful of, because new tech is always shiny and there's something lurking behind the new tech always. So let's just be mindful of that. And really quickly, I want to know if anyone knows what this logo is, this little logo on the top, before I sign off. Does anyone know what that is when it says the logo next to School of Swipe?
Tinder.
Yes, thank you, Ashish. It's Tinder. So when I worked with Tinder as a consultant, and you may be thinking, oh, okay, so Tinder is an online dating app. It's the biggest online dating app in the world. And they're concerned, like anyone else who has a digital presence, about safety and security of their end users. And so when I worked with them, it's to think about, if you are someone that is employing others, or you have someone using your products and your products are online, your end users should also always be at the center of the way you design your products, and they should have safety resources to go to. So that's what we were doing with Tinder, because if those of you who've read, seen the Tinder Swindler, you will know that. So Ashish, because I'm single, I started working with Tinder because I was on dating apps, and I found that there was just so many red flags everywhere I looked. And I was like, okay, we need to have more awareness, because people, not only were they getting scammed, but there were love scams, there were swindlers like this, but people were also suffering emotionally and mentally, because it took a toll on them from dating with this kind of a context, right? So every aspect of our lives is actually filled with online dangers, and we always have the potential to move to a place of being aware, being prepared, and working on those issues. And this is some of the things that I work on, because like I said, whether it's work, play, entertainment, leisure, there's a cyber element everywhere. And finally, if you want to reach me, I'm a trainer, a facilitator. I'm also a consultant. I consult with organizations, big and small. I also consult with parents who want to talk to me about how to instill a better cyber safety culture and cyber safety rules in their families. So that's some of the work I do. I have free resources on my website and my LinkedIn page. And do connect with me on LinkedIn if you want a conversation. And finally, you never know who's behind the screen, so always be aware before pressing that button. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anu. So there are a lot of things for us to think about here, and I think for Legacy Toastmasters, we better make this our last online meeting. So we'll be meeting face to face, so we'll be more secure in that sense. But I think there's a few action points for me to think about. And so on with our prepared speakers section. So there's a few changes to the program, because unfortunately the first speaker is unable to make it. So we're going to go straight on to speaker 2, with Jeffrey Loy, who is doing a level 1 speech, and his title is Give Me Energy. His evaluator is Eugene Xia. Eugene, can I ask you to just read out the speech objective?
Yes, my pleasure. Okay, let me read out
that Jeffrey is supposed to, okay, rather, let me just read it out. The purpose of the speech is defined by the member, in this case, Jeff, and Jeff may present a well-organized, well-supported speech on any topic. That's it.
Thank you, Eugene. So for the timing, we've got, it's a 4 to 6 minute speech. So at 4 minutes, Slajan will turn on the green background. At 5 minutes, the yellow background, and at 6 minutes, the red background. So Jeff, you may want to just pin Slajan, who is the timer for today. And let me know. Done that? Okay, just to introduce Jeff, Jeffrey is an MBA weight loss coach. MBA stands for Mind, Body, Action, where he anchors his coaching program on mindset shifts to ready his clients for significant weight and health change. He is known as the human engineer, body auditor, shape transformer, obesity terminator, and many more fanciful names. So I'm going to hand over to the obesity terminator, Jeff.
Right. Okay. Am I loud and clear to all? Okay. Thank you very much. Definitely, I'm not the Tinder swindler. Okay. Right. I think like many of you, of us here, I'm also a solopreneur, entrepreneur. You have a team with me, but really, entrepreneur actually is sometimes quite a lonely journey. We need all the energy we've got. Right. So give me energy, and that's the title of my speech today. This phrase might be familiar to many of you. Where the focus goes, the energy flows. And where the energy flows, the focus grows, right? So what comes first? Focus or energy? Well, for me, I believe energy comes first, just like just as a cybersecurity. If I got no energy to do anything like that, I won't have the focus for that, right? It's just, for me, it's really about energy. Give me the energy. Now, as a person running my own business, energy is of utmost importance. Now, business means sales. Sales is my lifeline. No sales, no income. And top salespeople don't force people to buy stuff, applying the law of cohesion and force and convince, right? And that's really engineering. To me, it will be energy draining. And the thing also giving negative energy and also very dragging on people, right? Top salespeople, they apply the law of attraction. They're full of energy. People just flock to them, wanting their services, wanting their time, just want that. They don't sell, but people will just want to buy from them. Why? Because of their energy. Every sale is an emotional sale. That's what we know. Energy is emotions. Intrapersonal emotions and interpersonal emotions. Intrapersonal is because the salespeople, the top ones, they are confident, they're full of smile, they are very positive. Interpersonal is because people are attracted by their confidence and their smiles, right? And they are really full of energy to get them to come to them. Well, when my energy is high, very high, any no will be a yes. Can convert anybody. In fact, I need to convert, they just want it. Even if it's a flat outright no, I know it's not about me, it's about them. I'll feel positive, and any encounter of a no, I'll see it as a learning opportunity for me. You just always see the brighter side and you move on. But the challenge is when my energy is not at 100%, not fully charged, just like a battery. I won't be able to activate the law of attraction. Have you tried this before? Not looking forward to go to work, yet you must go. You have a presentation coming, you're not confident, and you just don't have the mood to interact with others. You know, even before, and the meeting will just go down in doldrums, right? So the solution is shut up, give me more energy. Low energy translates to no or low business volume for me. But to an employee, It might translate to being ostracized by colleagues or even get fired by your boss. Nobody wants a low energy leader. Nobody wants a low energy member in your team. We cannot expect ourselves to be at high energy level all the time, right? There are down moments. Hopefully, just for days or even for hours, but not for months and years and consistently stay there. You know, we will make it. And in fact, for some people, even get to a very depressive state, fall into depression. Bounce back, we must. And for me, here are 3 things that I do when I'm at that low level. 1, read. Read to upgrade myself, get more knowledge, read to get inspired. Read what? Just because Eugene's my evaluator, I'll say, read Super Brand. Written by who? Eugene, right? Yeah. It's a great pick-me-up. Huh? Right? Everybody, right? Read Super Brand. Good book. Good book. Okay? Right. Ariel just came in. Read I Am Possible. It's a book compiled by Ariel and her team. I contribute a chapter there too. Read it. It has shares ups and downs journeys of about 30 people. Okay. Right. How they let go of things and then how they get into a new business. Okay. Share the ups and downs. Great book. Read to get inspired and learn from them. Okay. Next. What else do I do? Attend training events and talks. Okay. Watch YouTube. Okay. Right. Yeah, I particularly like I do watch and about the anti-fragile mindset. Again, this is by Eugene. Just because he's my evaluator. No lah. Okay, but basically with that also get you into some positiveness and give you the energy. However, whatever you do and read on your own, you are still on a DIY on your own, one person. It's not easy. Okay. So the third point, which I really like to do, is to be with the right people. We are the average of 5 people we hang out with. So hang out with people with the positive vibes when you're down. Learn from them. Get into the community of positive people. Find them for coffee. Find them for beer. Find them for food. And absorb their vibes. This is the easiest and the best. And we call them up. They would also be very, very enthusiastic to vibe you up. Okay, so how about you? What do you do to revive and recharge yourself? I'm interested to learn. Come and teach me. Show me how. I need you. Give me energy. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Lots of positive energy coming out there. So definitely, I think we should all be meeting up for coffees, drinks soon as well. Now COVID is over, meet up face to face and generate more energy. I believe Anu, our guest speaker, needs to leave very soon. Can you just drop a contact detail, like how we can stay in touch with you, maybe a LinkedIn, or as long as it's not too private and confidential data, of course, in the chat box, and then we can stay in touch with you then. Okay, so thank you, Jeff, for that speech. On to our second speaker of the night, who unfortunately was held up on the causeway going to Malaysia, but is so prepared that we've actually have a video that she prepared before today. So her evaluator will be Gillian. After we introduce the speech, Gillian, hopefully I'll be able to share the video. It's our first time doing that on Zoom as well. So Jessie's speech is a level 1 icebreaker, and the title is Beyond the Surface, Revealing Beauty Through the Lens of Perspective. Gillian, can you just read out the speech objective for us? And I like your Spiderman as well there.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. The purpose of the project is for the members to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Gillian. So I'm going to attempt to share this. And hopefully, let me see. Oh no, it's doing all kinds of crazy things. Okay, hopefully you can see Jess here. And if I click play.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica T. And I just want to start by asking how many of you are gardeners and love to grow plants?
Can I just check you guys can see and hear Jessica's speech?
Cannot.
Yes. Cannot, is it, Gigi?
The screen is like chopped a quarter. You cannot see her face.
Oh, that's the way it's appeared on my screen as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll just play it now.
And how many of you, no matter what you grow, they die? Okay, now I just want to let you see this picture. What do you see here? Well, do you see seeds or trees or food? Actually, these are all potential. Just like each one of us, different kind of seed, different kind of plant. So what's my topic today? I want you to see beyond the surface, to review beauty through the lens of perspective. Look at this little plant here. It's growing on a granite rock. There's not even much nutrients or soil, but yet it can be grown so nicely. Now, let me tell a story about seeds. Now, a seed grows alone, and with the right environment, it can grow really well. There's this Chinese idiom that's called 拔苗助长, means you help a seedling by digging it up to make it grow a little bit taller each day. Does it help? No, that is too much help, and they die. So what does this story tell us? This story tells us that with the right environment, let us be patient, let us calm down and let them grow properly at its right timing. So when a seed starts to grow, they do not need sunlight in the beginning. It grows downwards to have the roots spread out nicely. Just like a tree, how it grows. So with the roots, it's like your attitude, your character, and your integrity. When that is done nicely, that's where you have your big trunks and your stems that's going upwards, and they are like your connections and your communication with people. And with a strong, healthy trunk and stem, you are able to have the right partnership expansion of businesses, and that's where you have your fruits and results to be shown. So look at this plant. It decides that you cannot give it limit. And you see, even in the worst of circumstances, not favorable, it still grows from even the toilet bowl. And what can we learn from them? Well, everyone comes from different background. Embrace what you have. Like the little flower that grows through the crack. Don't let your leg become your slack. I believe all of us can make it. Now, as a single flower that grows through the crack, it seems insignificant, right? I remember I used to wait for Grab taxi at a particular spot downstairs, and at the side of the wall of this building, there are two little yellow flowers that grow from out from the crack, and I'm quite happy every time to see it because it's so interesting to see everything concrete and yet two beautiful flowers just brought from the crack. Then one day when I go downstairs, it was being cut away, everything was just taken away, and I actually feel quite sad about it. So you might be that little flower, the little plant that's always encouraging people, bring a bit of sunlight. No, don't let it take the joy away from you. Continue to do what you do best. So, look at this garden. You realize the flowers are actually grown through the cracks. And they did not really need people to really take care of them. One is insignificant, but look at it. Together, they form a beautiful, interesting garden. And I just want to end off by saying that, Michelle, you're here addressed to the Harvard Law class of 2023. Stay loose, know your limits, and find your people. Now, these plants are very relaxed, they stay loose. Do they know their limits? Not really. You see, they actually break through the limit and grow nicely. And they find their own flowers, and look how beautiful it is. So find your own people. And to bring it all together, just want to really inspire and encourage all of you to see beauty in every situation, even when it's not favorable. attitude in everything we do. Stay calm, be patient with people around you. People are like seed in their own timing, they will grow. And find the people you can connect with and form a beautiful garden to work things through. And thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you. Hopefully you could hear that okay. Gillian, I just sent it to you separately as well in case to make it easier for you as well. Okay, so that is our first ever that I know of video in a Zoom meeting, and our last ever Zoom meeting. And we're going to go on to our third speaker, which is Gigi. I don't think Gigi needs any introduction, but her evaluator for tonight is Jeffrey, who is back again. Gigi's speech is an icebreaker, and the title is called My Life. Jeff, can you just read out the purpose statement from the evaluation form for us?
Okay. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Yeah.
Okay, so again, for the timing, this is 4 to 6 minutes. So you'll get the green light on 4 minutes, the yellow background on 5 minutes, and the red background on 6 minutes. So you may want to pin the timer, Slajan, before we start, Gianni.
What is the timer, please?
Slajan is the timer. Let me see if I can.
Oh, okay. Hi. Okay, hi. Thanks.
Okay, so over to Gianni, who is basically like a superwoman. Over to you, Gianni.
Do not say that. Hello, everyone. Hello, Legacy. My name is Gianni. Some people call me Gigi. I'm not sure if you know of, I have a favorite Disney princess. It's Mulan. She's technically not a princess, but a cell-made princess. I found my life is very similar to her. That's why I admire her a lot, because she is very strong and feminine at the same place. I got introduced to Mulan, this movie, when I was 3 years old, when I was studying in China, in kindergarten. Then I just keep replaying this movie again and again. I was very in touch on her journey, how she was get rejected by all the handsome men for her marriage, because in Chinese culture, ancient culture, women supposed to just get married and call their life like that. But Mulan get rejected and rejected. It is very similar to some part of my life that I get rejected when I grow up in primary school, in middle school, even sometime at home when I transfer my faith into Christianity. I feel very rejected and isolated from my parents. But what I found very similar between me and Mulan is we both didn't give up and have this very strong mindset that we want to have a change, and then prove that things can get better if we insist. And not sure if you know of Mulan, this story in the Disney movie. She actually getting almost kicked out by the army training camp because she's not physically capable to do something the man does, to carry water buckets and to run a very long mile as a pretended man soldier. But the very last day that she was get kicked out, she actually challenged herself one more night that she want to try again for the challenge that leader introduced to her. Then she actually succeeded because she know the trick out of that. She used her creativity to solve the problem. And it just made me feel very connected to her, because there is a lot of issue that in life we cannot fix by a traditional mindset. I apply in my company, the Dream Academy, as well, and how I wanted to give different classes to the engineers to solve problem creatively. So I found Mulan is really similar to me, that over my childhood, then I come to Singapore. Singapore was just like the Kung Fu camp for me. because I face a lot of troubles in here. I meet a lot of different peoples and was not able to make friends at the beginning, just like Mulan. But then I find out how to make friends. It's just being humble and being smiley and open mind. And I found this community Toastmaster that everyone is very supportive, right? And this Mulan story come to today. I am a company founder, the Dream Academy, just similar to Mulan, that she ended up fighting for the country from somebody that is nobody in the training camp to one day that she's able to marry a very handsome leader in the camp who trained him a lot. And well, I do not yet have a boyfriend now, but who knows what is going on to happen. If Mulan, such a strong lady, can have a boyfriend, I might as well have a boyfriend. So today, I just want to share with you all that I found very similar with my experience with Mulan, who are a lady that not just feminine, but also in a very creative and strong mindset that she believes she can do better and even compare with the man. And I hope that today, after this speech, you will have an understanding of who Gianni is. Back to you.
Thank you, Gianni. So it's always interesting to hear about princess stories, and Disney stories, always a firm favorite. Okay, I'm just looking to see, in a moment, we will have our poll for the best speaker of the day. Yuan Tai, are you able to do the poll?
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Yes, wonderful. Okay. So in a moment, we'll have the vote for the best speakers. So just a reminder, first speaker today, we had Jeffrey giving the energy. We had Jess online with the video, which was Beyond the Surface, Revealing Beauty. And then our third speaker was Gianni, who was telling us about my life. Okay, so Yuan Tai is hopefully going to launch a poll very soon. Have a think about who you're going to vote for.
Yeah, I launched it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, we have 6 votes so far. Let's have a few more coming in. Please vote. Please vote. How to vote? Good question. There should be under the bottom row of buttons, there should be one that says poll. Just click on the poll button. Okay, 7 votes. Let's have 3 more. 8. Let's have 2 more. Come on. Let's keep the votes coming. Okay, so I managed to get to my hotel room and I'm now in front of my laptop. Everything is set up and I'm at peace. Okay, one more vote. Let's have one more vote. Let's have tiebreaker. Oh, we need a tiebreaker. Let's have tiebreaker. Let's have one more vote.
I think we only have 9 non-host participants.
9, right? All right. Okay.
Yuan Tai, I wasn't able to vote as a co-host. So I suspect a couple of other co-hosts.
David, you private message me your vote, so you'll be a tiebreaker.
Yeah, anyone else who's a co-host and couldn't vote as well can do that as well.
Private message me your vote. Yeah, because we need tiebreaker. We need a tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, please private message me. Sledgen, you can vote as well. Private message me. Yeah.
I voted.
So
I have 2 accounts here.
Oh, that's a smart way to do it, you see. Okay. So we got the voting in. We'll have a quick break, Yuan Tai, for 5 minutes.
Yep. 5 minutes break.
Okay, so I make it
music. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll see
41. Okay, 41. Come
5 minutes. I'm gonna grab a drink and something to eat.
I see you, I feel you, that is how I know you. Go on. I want it that way. Hit me, baby, one more time. No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta love me the way. It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live while I'm alive. Bye, bye, bye. I'm Mr. Brightside. We're meant to be together. I'll be there and you'll be near, and that's the deal, my dear. When you left, I lost a part of me. It's still so hard to believe. Come back, baby, please, 'cause we belong together. You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything. You're beautiful. Want and need. Said I'm so sick of love songs, so tired of tears, so done with wishing you were still here. Said I'm so sick of love songs, so sad and slow. Why can't I turn off the radio? Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? To the left, go 1,000 miles away, girl, tonight you look so pretty. I said it's too late to apologize. Touch my body, throw me on the floor, wrestle me around, play with me some more. Touch my body, throw me on the bed. I just wanna make you feel like you never did. Alright, because I love the way you lie. You know I'd catch a grenade for you. Unforgettable days, they do bikinis on. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. But here's my number, so call me maybe. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. 'Cause I'm happy, I'm alive. What do you mean? I'm alive. 'Cause I'm happy. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Come on, turn the radio on. It's Friday night and I won't be long. Gotta do my hair, put my makeup on. It's Friday night and I won't be long. Love me like you do. Love me like you do. I'm alive. ¿Qué would you think? Despacito, puedo respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga.
Okay, I hope everybody is back. We are starting.
Anyone looking for me?
Just finishing the food in my mouth, Eugene, before we continue. Okay, so I hope everyone had a quick break. I got my food, a little drink. So hopefully everyone's ready to go for our second part.
Flatjan has a cute dog. Dog cat.
Yes.
Mini
Great.
Flatjan.
Okay, so we're on to the evaluation section. I've not got the program open yet. I believe, Eugene, you are the first speaker for the evaluation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your belief is right.
Wonderful. Okay, so for the timing, for the timer, the evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, you should have the green background, 2.5 minutes, the yellow background, and 3 minutes, the red background. So I'll hand over to Eugene, who's gonna evaluate Jeff's speech, which is about Give Me Energy. Let me just find Eugene's introduction. So Eugene.
Wait, who's the timer again? Who's the timer?
Slatjan is
So I
time.
looked up. I okay.
Yeah, you pin him and I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Eugene, I don't think anyone knows you yet. Eugene Xia calls himself an ex-corporate zombie who found his life mission after he painfully lost his job in 2013. For the last 10 years, he's been on fire helping countless professionals across the world to discover their life purpose and to empower them to achieve it. Please join me to welcome Abundance Life Coach Eugene Xia.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate Jeff for a job well done. As long as I've known him, he has always had a good sense of humor and plenty of energy for sure. So all these have no problem. I want to give him 3 very specific compliments. Hey, you mute yourself, too much noise. Yeah. And then I also want to give him 3 suggestions. Okay, so verbally, his positive points are that he gave very specific examples. So when he said about books, he would share a very good book title like Super Brand Me. Okay, sorry, self praise. Yeah, and then he gave very specific points, 3 points. You know, instead of just some jump around. Then vocally, he has a very good pace. Right, he spoke slow enough, clear enough, and he always sounds confident. So you tend to buy whatever he sells. And visually, he had the way he plays his camera is quite a distance, so it's not like in your face, and you can see from his waist upwards, which means when he gestures, that is very clear. Right, it's almost as if we are in the same room as him. Whereas some people don't control their cameras very well. Yeah, and he smiles appropriately, so that is always appreciated. So now let me give him 3 suggestions how to be better. Again, using verbal as an element, I would suggest that instead of jumping around different stories, he begins with a story about how once he had low energy, or he can share about his client having a low energy, and then he can end with the same story. That's something I'm learning as well. That means, how do I begin and end with the same story so that it's one speech rather than one lecture with multiple stories? And then vocally, although he sounded confident, it will be helpful if certain parts he purposely lower his energy, and then certain parts he increase his energy and make it sound extremely exciting. And with that modulation, people can then tie in with his message of how from low energy he can increase to high energy. So instead of just hearing the content, they can even hear the change in his vocal modulation. And if he can choose a point in his speech to be more specific to up his energy, then that will have more impact rather than people are not sure where is the climax. And finally, visually, I would suggest that he stands up, right? Because when a person stands up, he naturally has more energy than sitting down. And when he's sharing specific book titles, he can bring up those books to show as well, since it's on Zoom. So overall, well done. I look forward to having a much better speech from Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Yeah.
Thank you for your insights there. So certainly some things that Jeff has found value in, and I'm sure we all learned from that as well. So about energy, I like the idea about stand up. I'm sat down at the moment. Perhaps I should stand up. Okay, so actually it doesn't work so well when I've got a mobile device. Okay, next up for our second evaluation, we've got Gillian. So Gillian is evaluating I'm going to call her the video speaker. So Gillian is evaluating Jess. So Gillian, let me just introduce Gillian. Gillian, you may want to pin the timer, Zlatan. Gillian is a mother of 3. She enjoys baking and cycling with her kids during their free time. She joined Toastmasters to improve her presentation skills. So Gillian, have you pinned the timer, Zlatan?
Who is the timer? Sorry.
Zlatan.
Slutjan.
Rajan. Okay, can.
Look for the grass background.
Okay.
I don't have the camera on this laptop, so.
I can't
Ah.
pin him. I can't pin him.
Okay, can you see the grass?
Yes, I can. Okay,
Is
can.
it-
I'll just leave it at the, yeah, I'll leave it at the screen. Can. Sure. Okay, I also want to congratulate Jess for her first speech, her icebreaker speech. So regarding the clarity, right, her spoken language is clear and is very easy to understand. As for her vocal variety, she also used tone and speed and volume as the tools to help her let us as an audience understand her what she wants to express. As for the audience awareness, right, she demonstrated awareness of the audience and she engaged the audience very well. Her speech catch my attention a lot because it's about the flower growing up from the pavement, which lacks water. So what I can feel from her is that she herself is a lady of perseverance and resilience. She uses a lot of visuals to help the audience understand what she wants to say. She also shared about her experience about the plant growing at the gap, which she saw, and another day later, the plant is gone. So it let us have a feeling of how she feels about the whole situation. So next will be improving herself. Maybe she wants to work on being present at our Toastmasters club so that we can take a look at how she expressed herself, her gesture, and how she can how she expressed herself on the screen. Yeah. She speaks with confidence, but at times she needs to pause a little. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gillian. Some good pointers there as well. Just to let everybody know, basically Jess was caught in the traffic jam across the causeway, much like I was yesterday. I'm sure a few of us were probably caught over the weekend. So some good positive feedback there as well. I'm going over to our third evaluator, Jeff, who I notice is standing up now, Jeff. I'm not sure why.
Yes.
So
Because must stand, right? And give the energy. Stand.
So Jeff is going to
Right.
evaluate GT. I'm not going to introduce you again, Jeff, because I did it earlier. We all know who you are. The body
Yeah.
scanner.
Okay. Right. First time I'm giving evaluation speech. So,
Right, Jeff.
you
have
forgive
pinned
it?
the
Yeah.
timer?
Yeah.
Have you pinned the timer?
Yep, I noticed that. Okay, good. Okay, now, thanks, Johnny, for a wonderful speech. Mulan and her, don't you think they have the same hairstyle? Yeah, okay. I think today Johnny looked the tone is very cool, very chill, very steady. Right, and there is probably, again, I think must take on when you're seated down, probably this is how you do it, right? Cool, steady, and then I think her structure, she knows the structure, what she want to flow. Then about Mulan, and then followed by her structure of challenges, then getting a mindset right, okay, and then followed by being creative, to get the solution. Okay, and she mapped out quite nicely about her traits and Mulan. Okay, in that manner. Okay, and one thing is I'm quite a point for improvement is suddenly after she's gone, then the story Mulan came out in the middle. Right? And I thought that threw me off a little bit. If you can manage that, flow the story as is Mulan Grove and all together rather than in the middle, you throw the story, you start telling the story Mulan again. I thought that is quite a little bit messy though. Okay. And okay, while she's cool and chill, but as I know Gianni, as she presented before, probably in Zoom, but on real life, she has more gestures. Right? She has more gestures, more energetic, and her tone and pitch has even more variety. Right? So it might be the Zoom that she's less dramatic. Right? So I really look forward to see her real life. Buy tickets to her live event. Yes, queue up for it. Right, Jenny? Okay, thank you. Look forward to seeing you at the next speech. And yeah, yes, I'll buy you a drink after that. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Right.
Jeff. Okay, appreciate it. So yeah, good ideas about energy, meeting up for drinks as well. Always a good thing to get around positive people, as you said earlier yourself. So speaking of positive people, in a moment we'll have our table topics. Before then, a bit I missed out earlier, the timers report from Slajan. So Slajan, can we come over to you for the timers report? So you tell us the name of the speakers and how long they were and if they've qualified.
I have Jeffrey, Jess, and Johnny. Jeffrey at 6 minutes 50, Jess at 4 minutes 30, and Johnny at 4 minutes 10.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And do we have the timings for the evaluators as well?
I have Eugene, Julian, and Jeffrey. Eugene at 0300, Julian at 0200, and Jeffrey at 0210.
Okay, so I believe all of those have qualified just about. Eugene was right on the mark. Perfect timing. Okay, so thank you for the timers reports. So we shall, you and Ty, do you want to do the vote now for the best evaluator or do it after table topics?
Yeah, we can do it now. Let me just quickly amend it. Just give me a few seconds.
Sure.
It's sorry, the order is Gillian, Eugene, and Jeffrey, right?
So we had Eugene, Gillian, Jeffrey. I'm deciding they're all good evaluations, so it's difficult to decide this one.
Okay, I've launched the vote for evaluator of the day. So while you guys are voting, I'll just briefly explain the table topics segment for those people, for some of us who are new to this table topics. You have 1.5 to 2 minutes and you'll be given a topic on the spot. So you have to think on your feet and react and share something. So some tips that I offer for table topics. If you're not familiar with the topic, just think of a way or come up with a way and relate it to your personal story, your personal experience. That's tip number 1. Stories always help and always captivate. Okay, we have a very clear winner. So let me just screenshot and end the poll. Yes. Okay, and tip number 2 for table topics is to express an opinion. So if the question or the topic requires you to express an opinion, you express your opinion. I agree, I disagree, and you explain and you share why. And the third tip is called the rule of 3. You break down your sharing into 3 things. The 3 things I learned from so and so. Okay, sorry, let me just share screen. Okay, I'll send.
And you and Ty, can I just
Right,
confirm
yes.
timing as well? So I've got green is 1 minute, yellow is 1.5 minutes, and red is 2 minutes.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go on to the table topic segment. Let's go on to table topic. Okay, since I already started, let me just continue. Okay, so I'll pick the first person, and is my guest, Ashish. So Ashish, are you there? If you are there, you can unmute yourself. Ashish, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Great, Ashish, you are here. Pick a number from 1 to 10. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
6.
Ashish, sorry, pick a number from 1 to 10.
I said 6.
6.
Yeah.
6. Your topic is, what do you think is the biggest challenge that Spider-Man faced as a superhero, and how does he overcome it? Once again, what's the biggest challenge that Spider-Man faced as a superhero, and how does he overcome it? So that is number 6. Let me just pin you as well. Once you are ready, you can take it away. 1 to 2 minutes speech, sharing.
Yeah, but I'm not into comic heroes. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Okay. Oh, you said I'm supposed to relate about, just tell me the question again.
Okay, the question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge that Spider-Man faced as a superhero, and how does he overcome it? You got the question?
Okay. Okay, so I think it's best I just go, because the more I think, the more confused I get. Okay, so this is what I think. I mean, Spider-Man, or rather any superhero, actually goes through as a challenge, because they actually feel they're actually normal human beings. Like a lot of us are actually normal people, and we are actually expected by society to actually become superheroes. And so we're always having a dilemma about who we truly are. When you're actually going through this introspection, you're trying to either find your identity, or you're trying to figure out whether people can understand you. So I think that's the dilemma a superhero goes through, whether it's Spider-Man or whether it's a Superman, whether it's a Batman. So that's how I relate to us as humans. We are expected to outperform. We are expected to, over deliver. But basically, we have to also comprehend that we are basic humans, and we should understand our limits. And so as people, we want to kind of outshine, but it's okay just to shine. You don't actually have to outshine people. And that's how I relate superheroes, and that's how I relate to us as humans. And the reason why we love these stories is because we want to see, we want to see performance beyond limits. And that's how we are guided by even, humanity at the, overall. And that's all I have to say to that.
Congratulations, well done, Ashish. Now you get to pick the next person. Ashish, you can pick someone to go next.
Okay, so I'll since you got me, I'm going to get you. So you're going to go next.
Oh no, I can't. You can't pick me because I'm the table topic master.
Okay.
Yeah, pick
Sorry,
someone else.
Okay, sorry. So I'm new to this. Sorry. Okay.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. So I will just take Ariel.
Okay, Ariel,
Another
yeah,
another
next.
another
So
another
pick
Di-
a number.
another Disney angle. Ariel.
Ariel, yeah, Ariel. So pick a number from 1 to 10. Number 6 is taken.
Okay, today we check 1 to you say 1 to 10 then take 8 lah.
8, good, lucky number.
Really?
And here's your topic. In your opinion, what is the most interesting power or ability that Spider-Man has? And how does he use it to his advantage? Let me just say again. In your opinion, what is the most
Repeat it one more
interesting
time.
power? In your opinion, what is the most interesting power or ability that Spider-Man has? And how does he use it to his advantage?
Right.
1 to 2
How many
minutes, the
minutes?
stage is yours.
How long is the
Minimum
time?
1 minute, up to 2 minutes.
Up to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Right, good evening, everybody. So for the topic today, we are really looking at what is this special power that Spider-Man has that allow us to continue being captivated by him generations after generations, as well as decades after decades. One of the key things which I really find interesting about Spider-Man is his ability to spin webs. And if you look at this whole idea about webs, what is so special about web is if we know more about spiders, right? The web, the spinneret that is actually used web is so strong, even stronger than silk. And if you look at what can be done with webs, is that it actually captures the prey, which tenderly lands on it. And yet once it is wrapped around it, you can't ever get away. So apart from doing that, Spider-Man uses his spinneret. He can spin from one place to another that helps him to what helps him to move the extra distance and continue to captivate us. Because when I re-look again at my early child,
Oops, did she drop off? I think we lost Ariel.
yeah, she dropped out.
Oops. Okay, no worries, no worries. It's good attempt by her. Though I couldn't catch the last 1/4 of her speech. So let's have someone to go next after Ariel. Who wants to volunteer, or shall I call on somebody? Somebody who has not spoken. Volunteer. Unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, I volunteer.
Okay, Linda, great. Let me find you and spotlight you first. Okay, great. Okay, Linda, pick a number from 1 to 10. 6 and 8 are taken.
What again? 1 to
Pick
10?
a number. Pick a number from 1 to 10. 6 and 8 are taken.
Oh, 6 and 8 taken. I take 10. I'll take 10.
10, is it? Great. 10. Let me read you your question. What is one lesson you have learned from Spider-Man that you have applied to your own life? What is one lesson you have learned from Spider-Man that you have applied to your own life?
I don't watch Spider-Man, so I have to guess up.
Yes, you can do that.
Can you say about Wonder Woman instead rather than Spider-Man? Because I watched Wonder Woman. Because I
It's
don't
up to
really
you.
watch
It's up to you.
Spider-Man. Huh?
1 to 2 minutes. Take it away, Linda.
Okay,
stage is yours.
Spider-Man. Okay. Okay, the story of pilot. Okay, what captivates me about Spider-Man is that he is just a layman, but then inside him, he is actually a very powerful man that has impact a lot of people positively. And what I like about it is only if I'm Spider-Woman, because I am a lady. So hopefully I could learn about his courage, his tenacity, and his anti-fragility. And one lesson clearly I learned is his anti-fragility. You know, despite a lot of setbacks that he has, he bounced back again and again, and he can overcome failures and other things, and he became a stronger and stronger person. So I really hope to be Spider-Woman. Okay, finito.
Great, great. Thank you, Linda. Just a gentle reminder, if you are speaking, you'll be polite and respectful. You can turn on your video unless you are in the toilet. Then please don't turn on your video.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm new to it. Okay,
So please,
is that okay?
yeah.
Is that okay? It's too late now,
Yeah,
right?
that was okay. That was okay. Great. Linda, you get to pick the next person.
Next person. Oh dear.
Yes.
Let me see. Look at the participant list. Let me see who is. Okay. I pick someone that I don't know. I pick someone that I do not know. What
Very
about
good.
David? No, sorry, David cannot. Lily.
Lily. Okay, Lily. Lily, are you there? Can see your face.
I'm here.
Okay, Lily. Please pick a number from 1 to 10. So 6, 8, and 10 are taken.
4.
Sorry? Pick a number. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
Number 4.
4. Great. Let me read you your question. What is your favorite Spider-Man comic book or movie and why? Once again, what is your favorite Spider-Man comic book or movie and why? If you don't have any favorite, you can try to come up with a story. Lily, 1 to 2 minutes. The stage is yours.
Okay, I actually don't have any Spider-Man movie or comics favorite because I don't watch anime in a sense because I don't really like cartoons or movie. I mean, not say don't like movies or what, but I don't really get a chance to go movie very, very often. Books because it's in comic form, so I don't really like. But I understand that there's now this Spider-Man version called Spider-Verse. I heard about it quite a bit, and understand that it is quite a good movie. So probably Spider-Verse will take Spider-Man up one level, whereby probably he has more superhero powers to help more people with more sophisticated problem. So that's what I feel, and I feel that probably Spider-Verse might be my favorite movie. That's all.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you get to pick the next person to go. Lily, please pick somebody.
Wait, give me 1 sec. Let me see.
I can read out the names for you, those who have not spoken. So you choose one of them. Slajan, Gianni, Jeff, David, Gillian, Eugene, Spencer. So they have not spoken. You can
Spencer.
pick
Spencer.
Spencer. Great, Spencer. You are to go next. So pick a number from 1 to 10.
It's my first time here. Hello, everybody. I'm nervous. Yeah. Okay. How about has the number 7 been chosen?
Nope.
Okay. I'll just try
Question
number
7. Question 7. If you could travel to any location featured in Spider-Man comics or movies, where would you go and why? Once again, if you could travel to any location featured in Spider-Man comics or movies, where would you go and why? 1 to 2 minutes. The stage is yours.
I think this Spider-Man series of stories with the 3 different characters played by Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. They have really brought us to many different places and many different locations with many different villains and also many different type of action. And but I think I probably wouldn't choose any one of the particular movies except perhaps join Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is some sort of like a wizard or a sorcerer, right? So he has got this ability to conjure up a portal, and if I were to join Doctor Strange, then it'd be in a sense the best way to visit all the different sites, because he can bring me to all the different places, and I can get to see perhaps Spider-Man in action in the US, or when he's up in the plane, up in the sky, in space, right? So I think that there's no particular location, but to join Doctor Strange will bring me to all the different locations. All right, that's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you. Thank you. Just a quick time check. Do we have time for one more, David? We have time for one
yes, more? As long as I unmute myself quick enough to answer you, yes. Time for more.
Okay, Spencer, you have the honor of picking the next person, someone who have not spoken.
Okay. Who has actually not spoken at all, like either not been an assessor or given a speech? Is there anyone who has not really spoken at all?
Slajan,
Slajan.
our great timer.
All right,
No,
Slajan, is it
I
okay?
can't do the timer. I can't. I have to hold the timer. It's very difficult.
Time for you.
Please do us the honor, Slajan.
Slajan, pick a number from 1 to 10.
1.
1. Very good. Let me just pin you first. Yep. Okay, let me just remove. Let me just read the question for you. Question 1. If you had to choose one of Spider-Man's villains to be your arch nemesis, who would you choose and why? If you had to choose one of Spider-Man's villains to be your arch nemesis, which one would you choose and why?
Can you give me
1
some
to 2
help here,
minutes.
some options? I don't know any of this.
Stage is yours. You can come up with an imaginary villain if you haven't seen or you don't know.
Okay. If I could choose a villain to be my villain to fight against, I would choose Darth Vader. Because Darth Vader starts off as a bad guy, and everyone thinks he's a bad guy and he's the villain, and nobody likes Darth Vader. The movies are clear that he's the bad guy, but then it turns out, well, it's not really like that. Darth Vader is a human being, or whatever is left of the human being, and he shows people that not everything is black and white. Darth Vader is a very respectable villain. He is sometimes kind, a lot of times rough, but measured. And ultimately, he will show his human side. He's very complex as a person. That's why I like him, and I would like to have him against me. I respect him as a villain. That's
Very good. Congratulations, Lajan. David, do we have time for another one? One more?
As long as it's not me, you and Ty, we've got time for one more.
As long as it's not. Lajan, do the honors of picking another one. I think the last one. This is the last one. Final one. Who was the volunteer?
I haven't heard Eugene much tonight, so let's go for Eugene.
Of course, everybody loves to hear
Anyone
Eugene.
called me?
Eugene.
Yes. Give me
Eugene, yes.
give me the
Again.
toughest. What is it?
Toughest. Let me just read you the question.
Mm.
If you
Hello,
could
hello. Can I raise
design-
something? Can I raise something?
Yes.
I think it's not level playing field. We are impromptu,
No worries, level playing
inexperienced
field.
compared to
I give
someone like Eugene. Okay, that's my point. That's all.
Okay, let me
Okay,
sit down
Eugene,
first.
this is
Then
the
it becomes
toughest
more
one.
level. Come, I sit down.
If
Okay.
you could design,
It's
Eugene,
level.
if you could design your own Spider-Man suit, what would it look like and what special features would it have?
Okay, very good. Okay, I've been thinking about this topic for a long time because since young I read Spider-Man comic and I've watched every single Spider-Man movie, both animated as well as live action. And the best suit that Spider-Man should come up with is something that uses technology, where when people look in front, it's actually a very big TV screen showing what is behind. So visualize together with me, you're looking at Spider-Man, and then his entire front is a big screen showing what is behind. So in the end, what you see is just a floating head. And because it's a floating head, everywhere he goes, he cannot be captured, he cannot be arrested, he cannot be killed because it's just a floating head. And if he is willing to listen to my feedback and change his suit, I believe that from now on he'll become invincible. Yeah, and of course, most likely he will have to change his name from Spider-Man to Invisible Man. Yeah, because nobody can see him at all. Okay, so this is my feedback. I hope Spider-Man, wherever you are, please listen to me. Yeah, and I just want to end this speech. Is it 1 minute? Yeah, I couldn't see any green color. Okay, I just want to end this speech. Oh, I see the green color. I want to end this speech by saying, with great power comes great invisibility. Thank you.
Wow! So we learned from the master, Eugene. I have finished the table topic segment, and this segment is proudly sponsored to you by ChatGPT. Okay, over to you, David.
Okay, thank you, Yuan Tai, for tremendous table topics. Thank you also to ChatGPT as well. Always changing things very quickly, so we need to be worried about our data there as well. Okay, in a moment, we're going to have our vote for the best table topics. Wow, that was quick, Yuan Tai. So table topics votes have appeared on my screen. I assume they're on your screen as well. So pick who gets your vote. Is it Ashish? Is it Ariel? Perhaps Linda or Lily? Slajan could be there, or Spencer, or perhaps Eugene. Okay, so I think the votes are in. Yuan Tai, we have a winner.
Yep, we have a winner. We have the winner. And it's
Wonderful. Okay, cool. Okay, so since the votes are in and Yuan Tai has all of the votes, I'm going to hand over to Yuan Tai to announce the results for the winners today. Over to you, Yuan Tai.
Thank you, thank you. Let's have a drum roll. And today's best speaker, project speaker, drum roll. Jessica, she's on the way to KL. Hopefully she has a safe journey. Jessica wins the best speaker of the day. And let's have drum roll for the next best evaluator of the day, Eugene. Wow, Eugene always wins evaluator, but there's lots of things that we can learn. Yeah, and let's learn and get all the golden nuggets and improve on our own evaluation, myself included. I've learned so many things from Eugene. Finally, the best table topic speaker. Let's have drum roll. It's Linda. Congratulations, Linda.
Oh, I beat
Well
Eugene.
done, well done.
Yay, Shaku,
Thank you. I'm honored.
Shaku 1 3.
Ah,
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us for the Zoom. This is our last Zoom for this year, and moving forward from July onwards, we'll be having on-sites, and you'll be at NY Cafe at Marymount. Let me just quickly share with you the poster. Let me bring out poster over here. Okay, everybody, I hope you can see the words is a little small, but I'll just share it again on the group chat. So just mark down the date and time, 3rd of July. Our meetings are on Legacy English Toastmasters, meet every first Monday evening of the month. Unless it's a public holiday, then we'll shift it. So 3rd of July, Monday, 7 to 9:30 p.m. Please invite your friends because it's so fun learning together as a community and helping one another to grow and become better speakers and communicators. So don't just be selfish and just share this fun with here, but bring someone, bring a friend, bring 2 friends, 3 friends, and join us to have fun and learn together. So see you on 3rd of July evening at the NY Cafe. NY Cafe is near the Marymount MRT station as well as the Upper Thomson MRT. So very accessible place, lovely place. I love the food there, and see you there with a friend. Thank you and good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye. Look forward to seeing everyone next month.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. God bless.